Hui, aloha everyone. Welcome to Hawaii Abroad Audio Podcast. I'm your host, Auntie Max, and it's another Manaʻo Monday. This is an episode where I get to share a little bit about our Hawaiian culture according to what I was taught as I grew up, and hopefully you guys find value in it. So today we have a pretty short lesson, so I'm going to get right to it. Today's topic is about Ohana, specifically the Kuleana, or the responsibility of our Kupuna, or our elders. And why I want to share a little bit about this topic is because just recently, a couple of days ago actually, we just had one of our family reunions, and I belong to the Uli'i family, and majority of them come from the windward side, around Hauʻula, Ka'awa, Kahalu, Kaneʻohe, majority of them. But, over the generations, it really spread pretty much all over the place, even including the mainland. So we just had our reunion, and it was a fabulous celebration and gathering, actually, where we all come together and, we just see who is our family members. It was more of a meet and greet, because it's been many years since we have gathered as an Ohana. So it was an awesome day. It was held at Kualoa Beach Park, which is on the windward side of Oahu, and many of our members in the Ohana, the Uli'i Ohana, did show up and come to meet everybody. Now, I think I mentioned this before, but when it comes to our Kupuna, they have many years under their belt, so they have experiences, and they have many stories, life stories. So it was a day that we really we honored our Kupuna, and we gave them a chance to share the stories, share what happened, why we, became so distant, and, we just wasn't gathering. And it was, I would say, for our Kupuna, it was very emotional, because majority of them was talking about when they was growing up, and how they did hang out with each other, the cousins, the aunties, the uncles. And as everyone grew, they just got busy in life, and then eventually people just went their own ways. And pretty much that's what's happening. A lot of that is happening worldwide, because we live in a generation that is just very busy. The hustle and bustle will really get to us, and it's hard for us to make time to just sit and talk story. But let me get back to our responsibility, or our Kuleana, when it comes to our Kupuna. So if you look back in history, you will find many of our Kupuna home, taking care of the household and taking care of the grandbabies. It was their responsibility to make sure that they share this knowledge with the grandchildren, and, help to groom them. Because why? Because the makua, the adults or the parents, was busy out working and, trying to bring whatever it was home to take care of the family. So nowadays it's money, but way back then it was, they would go maybe fishing and really work hard out there and bring the fish back home. Or they would go up to the mountain and take care of the kalo, the taro patches, and, make sure that that substance is available for the ohana, and then bring it home to take care of the family. But when it comes to what was happening at home, yes, we lived multi-generations within an ahupua'a, and the kupuna would train our keiki. Can you just imagine being a child staying home with Tutu Mama and Tutu Papa, that's Grandma and Grandpa, and just listening to them and listening to their stories and learning, and many times they would share about our culture, about the stories, and just the legends about Hawaii. So can you imagine being able to be raised with your grandparents and learning really deep, rich information about the culture? And, they would even teach them hula, or they would teach them how to do crafts and things that help with the family. And what is very important is being able to meet your family, so you know who is part of your ohana, who's your cousins, who's your auntie, who's your uncle, things like that. Yeah. So very important. That way, when you grow up, you might not end up being with your ohana, and starting a family or something like that. So it was really important that we knew who was in our mo'okuahau, or as we say it in Hawaiian, mo'okuahau means genealogy or family tree, that kind of thing. As a kupuna myself, I take my Kuleana very seriously. I really want to pass my ike, or my knowledge, on to my mo'opuna, which is the grandchildren. And I think I mentioned it before, probably in the trailer, that because of that, and now that I am a grandparent, my grandbabies live in Las Vegas with their parents, and I decided to move there. So I am in Las Vegas trying to support my son and his ohana and help raise my grandbabies and pass that ike on to them. But of course, grandparents love to spoil their grandbabies, and that's me too. But I see it being a lot more important to teach them our culture. So I sing to them in Hawaiian. I sing songs to them. I teach my older one, which is only 20 months old. She's been playing the ipu ever since she was about 6 months. And the next baby is only 4 months. So she'll get there. She'll get there. Right now, the older one is actually learning how to play the pa'u drum also. And she loves that. But anyway, it's important for us to be sharing that knowledge and help groom them the proper way. However, it's also Kupuna's Kuleana to make sure I don't step on the makua's toes, or the grandparents, So important to communicate with the parents of the keiki. Now, there's a lot more Kuleana that the kupuna will take care of, but one more that I will share about is passing on names to our grandbabies, or the babies in the ohana. In many cases, makua will come to a kupuna and ask them to help name the child. And there's 3 ways that traditionally we normally name them. One is to name them after someone in the ohana or a friend, or just give them a name after someone else, and that's so they can carry on that name through the generations. Another one is to mark the day of what is happening that day. So if the day is very windy, blustery, they might name the child accordingly. I've used this example before when Kalakaua, that is King Kalakaua, when he was born. He was born during the peace treaty signing with Britain and Hawaii. So Kala means the day, and Kaua is war. So he was born on a day of war when things was changing. So it was about marking that day of peace. And then we also have another tradition when it comes to naming the child and prophesizing over the child. So meaning that the child might be some certain type of way. So, example, my name is Kawahine Ho'omanawa Nui, which is woman of patience. And my kupuna thought that I would be that child to grow up and have a lot of patience. I try. I don't always have it, but I really try. So those are examples of sharing and naming our grandbabies, And a lot of times those names come from dreams. So a kupuna would kind of sleep on it, and then hopefully in their slumber it comes to them, and then they share it with the ohana. All right, so anyway, back to my family reunion. It was a wonderful, wonderful event, very successful, and we're hoping to continue doing this. Hopefully within another year we'll have another gathering. And of course, it's going to take a lot of work just to plan and get it going. But the outcome of these gatherings are just wonderful. Being able to hang out with the ohana, learning who your ohana is, and just sharing those many, many stories. I love sitting down with kupuna and just listening to their stories. So I encourage you out there, listeners, that if you have family members, especially those that is far or you haven't seen them for a while, when it comes to our culture, especially Hawaiian culture, we try to connect. And I would encourage you, because it's a wonderful, wonderful time. And it just fills your heart with many joy, a lot of joy. So anyway, yeah. So ohana. Ohana is important. It helps to keep you grounded. It fulfills you. And in our case, it was just awesome to just gather and talk stories. So I wish that upon you, the audience, that hopefully you gather with your ohana and you find your mo'okuahau, your genealogy, connect with them. Because you may find that you have many similar things and things that you might be opposite on, but the heart is there. When it comes to ohana, your heart is there with others. So I'm going to end this episode with that, and I wish you all to have a maika'i day. If you find value in what I've been sharing, or even if you want to suggest something that I share in the culture, please connect with me. Rate my podcast and subscribe so you can get notifications as soon as new episodes are released. Okay, everyone, this is Auntie Max. Have a maika'i day. Aloha.